Hey YouTubers, it's October, so you know what that means, horror films, right? So I want to welcome you to my October Horror Films Spotlight Month, alright? So basically throughout the entire month of October, I'm going to be pretty much showing you some of my favorite horror films in my entire movie collection. And the way this is going to work, it's not going to be, I'm not going to put up a video every single day. It's probably going to be every other day. So probably, you know, like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'll be putting up a video where I'll be talking a little bit about some of my favorite horror films in my collection. So, as this is October 1st, what better film to begin with than probably one of the oldest films in my collection. And it is George Romero's original 1968 Night of the Living Dead. And of course, if you guys have been watching my videos all this time, you basically know that I'm a huge horror fan, and I'm especially a huge fan of George Romero's zombie films. And you know, I love this movie a lot. It came out in 1968. It was George Romero's first film as being a director. It's the first film in his entire zombie genre, which pretty much launched the entire zombie genre of films. And just to give you a quick synopsis, basically, it's about these two characters. Well, actually, it begins with the character of Barbara and Johnny going to the graveyard to visit their, I believe it's their mom, and they get attacked by a zombie, and Barbara ends up at the house where she ends up meeting Ben, and the whole thing kind of just kind of takes off from that point there, with them trying to barricade the house because they're trying to survive the onslaught of zombies that are beginning to appear. And while they're in the house, they meet all the other characters like Mr. Cooper, they meet Tommy, Judy Rose, all the other characters that they meet pretty much in the house and make up the entire cast of characters in this entire film. And again, I love this movie a lot. I'm glad that I picked it up, because I've never actually saw the original Night of the Living Dead in its entirety. I've always only seen like bits and pieces of it, so it was good that I picked this up a couple of years ago. So I finally got to see it and have my own copy now, and I'm really happy with it. Again, overall, this film is amazing. It's something that definitely anyone should own or should definitely get to add to their horror movie collection, especially if you're into zombie films. Every collection should definitely have this film as part of it. A couple of little things that I want to mention about this film also is that it has some very interesting special features. There are a number of almost feature-length documentaries where they talk to some of the original cast members, where they kind of document some of the not so much the behind the scenes, but a lot of the process of what it took to actually create the film. And one of the interesting things that I always like hearing about is especially concerning this particular film, is some of the controversy that went into trying to create it, some of the licensing issues that the creators had, especially George Romero, in terms of not getting the movie copywritten at the right time, and things like that. So there's a lot of interesting things in here that you'll definitely want to look into, especially with the special features that kind of give you a little bit of the history behind this film. And the cast of characters, Dwayne Jones and Judith O'Dea, who play the characters, of course, of Ben and Barbara in the film. Unfortunately, I think there's only like audio recording interview with Dwayne Jones in terms of when he's talking about his experiences working with George in particular this film. But as part of one of the feature-length documentaries that come in the film, they actually get to talk to Barbara O'Dea and the other actor that played Johnny in this original film, and they pretty much follow them around and interviewing them, hearing their experiences working on the film, and they go back to some of the original places where a lot of the editing of the film took place. And it's just interesting just hearing what their take and their experiences, and some of the other cast members that were part of this film also hearing some of their experiences working on this film. So definitely, guys, it's definitely a movie that I enjoy a lot very much. Of course, being a zombie fan, but it's something that definitely everyone, like I said before, should have in their zombie movie collection. Especially if you're a zombie movie collector, and overall, if you're a horror movie collector, you should definitely have this film in it because it's a classic. No collection should be without this particular film. So, George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, original 1968 version, it's great, it's fantastic. And kind of like a special mention, I would also like to say that the remake, the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, is also really good. It was written, I believe, by George Romero. He wasn't the one that directed, but was actually directed by Tom Savini. And again, it's the only film, or the only remake of the original Night of the Living Dead that I would accept as as being really decent and on par with the original film. Even though it kind of does make a couple of changes compared to the original film, but I would say this is probably like the best you know, or this would be the only remake that I would recognize as being, you know, pretty much on the same level as the original film. So definitely, you know, if you like the original film, I definitely recommend that you pick up this particular remake, the 1990 version of Night of the Living Dead that was directed by Tom Savini, but the script was still written by George Romero. So absolutely, with I believe it's Tony Todd and Patricia Tallman played the two lead characters of Ben and Barbara in this film. But overall, you know, I definitely enjoyed this one a lot too. So definitely, you know, I would say that these two particular films, you know, you should go hand in hand together. You know, the original 1968 version and the 1990 remake version, which is the only one, like I said before, I'm going to keep saying, I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but it's the only version, you know, of a remake that I would accept as being something that's very similar and very almost faithful to the original film. So definitely, guys, you know, Night of the Living Dead by George Romero, something that you definitely have in your collection. So I hope you guys like this first video for my month-long October horror films spotlight videos. So as always, guys, like the video. Give me comments, tell me what you think about what I had to say about this film. You know, tell me your comments. What do you think about this particular version, both the 1968 version and the 90 remake? And anything else that you guys feel that, you know, I should also kind of be aware of in concerning this particular film. All right, guys. So until next time, stay safe, keep watching horror films, eat lots of candy, enjoy your month, guys. All right.